without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Shooting stars.
Didn't even get to cross.
I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get to glance. I'm ready to eat off track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars.
Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
What's happening, people? Welcome to Tottenham Away. It's Monday night, the best place to be in town if you're a Spurs fan. If you don't support Spurs, we always welcome you to the channel. Everyone, thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you don't want to subscribe, like, or hit the bell, then don't do it.
Good night.
It'd be nice if you did, but if you don't, no worries.
Do you know why? I say that on purpose because you know when people say, all you care about is likes and subscribes. I'm like, I don't care.
I do though.
You do, don't
I'm speaking on behalf of me though. Listen, if you like Iggy, love Iggy, like, subscribe, smash the notification bell, and all that goodness, right?
And if you don't like Stale, hit that like, hit that subscribe.
Right. Do it for Iggy, people. Forza Iggy. Do it for Iggy.
I'm already Euro mode, mate. For the next month, we're enemies. We're rivals, mate.
Enemies.
Right? The Tottenham thing ended. Now we're gonna go into the Euro mode. When I go Euro mode, especially against you lot, I'm going savage.
Not till Friday, mate.
Savage. You guys, who you guys got first game?
Why are you starting so aggressive?
Yeah.
Because when it's national team,
Pretty aggressive start to the show.
Who's England got first game? I'm so
Serbia.
bad. Man. Serbia. When is that? On Friday or Saturday? When?
Friday night.
No, Sunday. Isn't it Sunday?
Sunday.
It's Sunday, I think.
One of the two.
England
Italy
are playing Sunday. Italy are playing Saturday.
Italy playing Saturday.
That's it. We got.
That's good. Put yourself on mute.
Defending champions versus wannabe champions, right?
That's better. Shut him up.
He's muted himself. That's good.
How you doing, JP? You right? You good, man?
Yeah, man, not too bad. Bit of a sore throat and all that stuff, so I may sound a bit hoarse and a bit coffee and stuff, but football-wise, in a good place.
You still got a sore throat from all the celebrations of when we signed Timo?
Yeah, man. I just just needed to get it out my system, you know. Running down the streets, giving it Timo.
Lord of mercy. Lord. How you doing, Lee? How you been? You been all right? Good week?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. The wife's been off gallivanting, so it's just been me and the kids. Very well. Very good.
Very good.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Look, only a few more days to the transfer open, guys, on the 14th. The Euro starts and the transfer market opens. So things will hopefully, as of next week, start ticking over a little bit.
Well, you say
Well, that's a bit positive for this channel, Iggy.
It's too positive.
You've got Mazza in here, right?
Oh, he's taking digs. He's taking digs. He's not even here to defend himself.
He's not even here to defend himself.
He's not here to defend himself. What is this?
I'm going to take. I'm taking his. I'm taking his role this week.
What, Mr. Negative? You're going to be.
Yeah.
You're going to be.
All negative.
Cool.
Plenty of minus signs.
So anyone first time watching this channel, right? Can you feel that negative energy? Can you feel it? Do you enjoy it? Do you like
feel it?
Well, we'll remain a little bit this way until we see something happening, which
shiny object walking the door.
Would then
think 1 minute. Things have happened. First of all,
well, let's get into it, man.
Let's get into it. All right, let's go.
Let's get into it. Come on, man.
Everyone in the chat, big up yourselves and thanks for being here.
And for those who don't know, the intro to Shooting Stars is dedicated to our forwards, Timo, Johnson, and Richie. They will be shooting stars.
That's a serious attacking lineup.
They'll be shooting something.
Shooting stars. Well, them stars better watch out because they're going to be hitting them.
Mate, last season it was blanks.
I want to read this out to you, right? So far, this is who we've been linked to, right? Gimenez, Gallagher, Edison, Cooper, Rafinha, Olmo, Neto, Toney, Marmouche, Eze, Somerville, Berger, Gibbs, White, Goodmanson, Calafiori, Borghimio, El Canus, CHO, Evan Nilsson, Due, Sadikov, Hulmand, Solanke, Van der Berg, Cole Walker-Peters, Marcus Edwards, Anana, Weifer, Sigma Ken, Suzuki, Williams, Braithwaite, recently Muniz, Bellingham, O'Reilly, and Sherikin. I know there's two. I can't remember who, but
not one of those names had Tottenham written next to it. Not one.
Well, they've either signed a new contract with their current club, or they're more strongly linked to another club, or there's something to do with the wages, but there's nothing concrete there. The only one that seems to be doing the rounds quite a bit, and it keeps coming back, is Eze. So it does sound to me that we are definitely looking to sign him. Whether we get him or not, we'll find out. But what is a fact, and it's where I want us to start, Jaffet, Cess, Dyer, Perisic are officially all gone. And what I wanted to ask you, right, is this a sign of a clear out, or is it just, look, their contracts have ended? Because all their contracts have ended. And when you look at the players, Jaffet didn't play for us last year. Sessegnon been injured for 5 years. Dyer, he played for us a couple of games when Van der Ven and Romero got injured, but then he got transferred out in January. And Perisic, he hasn't played for us all season. So it's not like we're missing players that we were using. These are players that were already kind of almost written. So is it clear out, or is it, look, their contracts are ended? And actually as well. Look at this
They're
Sessegnon
the easy
stat.
ones.
Look at these. Look at this Sessegnon stat, Lee. He
That's-
played
that's-
109
that's
games
jokes, isn't it? That's
up
just
to
jokes.
19, and then he played 173 games up to 24. He's hardly played any football at Spurs. In fact,
That
he
is
hasn't played
just-
any football.
That's just jokes.
Yeah, so he
They're
had
just-
to go. That
They're
alone,
the
he had
easy
to
ones,
go.
aren't they? It's just the easy four, isn't it? Dyer was pretty much already gone anyway. Perisic, we know who was going. Jaffet, end of his contract, and Sessegnon, he's not played enough game time. So that's the easy stuff, isn't it? That's the expectations that you expect to leave.
Like, I would say it is part of the clear out because do you know what? That's one of the things that we've been moaning about all this time. We've got all this deadwood. They're still on our books, irrespective of whether they play or not. 60% of them don't play. So the fact that we've got all of these, but do you know what? It's nice just to cut a clean thread now, right? Do you know what?
But JP,
Out.
my question is it a clear out or is it just their contracts have ended?
Well,
Both.
it doesn't matter, does it?
The hard work starts when we start asking for money.
They're no longer with us.
And Ndombele should be next as well. So
There's rumours that we're gonna call a timeout.
Yeah,
or
let's
he's
wait and
agreed to it,
see.
but that's not quite happened. So it could be a rumor. We don't know yet. But yeah, it does look like that though. It does, and that would be a good thing because that's £250,000 of wages available.
Is it
I mean,
though?
Cess, I would say it was
Is it
obviously
though?
something that
You
was
can't
going to
just
happen.
you can't just rip
right?
up a player's contract, right? I'm assuming that they've got to pay him
You
off.
got to agree. Well, you got to agree with them that you pay them off the rest of what they're owed.
Yeah. So it's not
But-
until the end of his contract if that's the way it's going to be handled.
But I read it's an amicable agreement, meaning that they've
Yeah,
both
he
come
gets
to
his
some
money and they don't get
He has
don't
to
get him on the
agree to it,
books.
yeah. But the thing is,
Yeah,
still,
but hold on. So how does that work for us though? If we do that,
If
Because
we
how do
keep
we
him-
win? Because then we just get rid of a player that we can't even sell. We can't even make any money. Off it.
You
If we
might
keep him
find
now,
that they
right?
agree a lesser amount, a non-playing wage if he's not been playing or something of that nature. But he will still get a payout because he's got a contract. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
He's
okay,
just-
all right. So what you're saying is we win because the wages we pay won't be the normal wages. There'll be a lower wage, a
yeah, and he
lesser
frees up the
amount.
space in the squad as well, doesn't he? So
All right, so it does free up some wages then. Maybe
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
whole 250.
But that's
maybe-
what he's got to agree to, right?
Yeah.
He's got to agree to take a lower wage and like, leave now.
or you might,
Because-
or there
because
might be
by
something in his contract that says that he has to play a certain amount of games, otherwise he doesn't get his full wage or something of that nature. We don't know the ins and outs, do we? It could be
I don't
anything.
want to
Like
see him
that.
in a Spurs shirt again, man.
The bottom
Really?
line,
He's a baller, Iggy's a baller.
And Ndombele. He's won 2 trophies. He left Spurs. He won two titles
You can't
already.
argue with that. You can't
He's
argue with
lifting
that.
league titles, Iggy. He's a Champions
Wasted,
winner.
He was
Wasted
a fair
talent.
guest for the Napoli one. I can't speak on the one in Turkey, but in Italy,
Ndombele, come back, baby, back, Iggy, back.
nah, no
What the
chance.
hell?
No
I
chance.
know how much you love him.
No chance of seeing him back. He won't be playing for Spurs.
Is that what you do on holiday, Lee, when you have a few sangrias?
Gets worse than that, mate.
Oh, my Lord. Look, I don't think there's any Spurs fan that'll be gutted that Ndombele's gone. It hasn't worked out. It's as simple as that. Even I, who defended him, it hasn't worked out. I can't defend it anymore.
it's a shame
He has
though,
to go.
because he had talent, right?
Well, he's a back-to-back league title winner in Italy and then Turkey. He's clearly got.
No, I mean, kind of even
I
before.
didn't see all this talent, but if you guys insist he was talented, fair enough.
I
didn't
think
see
he
it.
was talented. He just didn't apply it properly.
He wasn't
Then,
as
then,
good,
then
but
it's
I'd
called a
say
waste. It's called a waste of talent. Then
on the ball, he reminded
I
me
said talent
not
wasted.
not as much, but he reminded me a little bit of a Ndombele. The way that he could turn on the ball, turn on the player. It was nowhere near that kind of level.
Right there.
But the rest of it's that he could have been that kind of player, but he's not.
Don't put him in the same
I
breath.
just
Agreed,
don't-
Clement.
I didn't say he was. I just said he was that kind of technically.
You used
where
the
he
word
was.
Dembele in the same
Right.
sentence. Just can't do that.
Right, where's my negative hat?
It's just you can't put them in even mentioning just sometimes it shouldn't be in the same breath as that. It shouldn't even be in the same breath, let alone mentioning it. Can't mention that guy was by far the worst signing I can remember to date. Yeah, in as far as I can remember about Spurs, that has to be by far the biggest waste of money or the biggest waste of talent, whatever you want to put it. I've known today. I don't know anyone worse.
He turned
Who's
out to
honestly
be.
done worse than that? Spending that kind of money and getting that in return. For me, that is absolutely by far the worst signing I can
Well, you're
remember
never going to
today.
get that right, are you? Because he's our top signing,
Shocking,
isn't he?
mate. Shocking.
Isn't he the top value that we've signed a player for?
Yeah. Poor
You
professional.
could go
Poor professional.
Jason Dezelle. There you go. Chris Armstrong.
Nah, man.
There you go.
Nah, I don't think so. Even them, as bad as they were, no.
Jason Dezelle.
The biggest waste, lack of professionalism. Somebody who lacks constant, out of shape. That Morecambe, I listen. I keep referring back to it. Morecambe. That Morecambe game for me was
walked off.
Absolutely disgrace. You know what? It was so bad that the captain Kane at that time coming on had to tell him off to get on with it and move.
He pushed him off, didn't he?
You literally pushed him off. That's how bad it was.
Do you know?
Awful signing.
I actually thought under Mourinho he was decent. I thought he did well under Mourinho. That's the only time I thought he did well. Under every other manager, it was a disaster.
Because he started playing him more, didn't he? Mourinho started playing him more.
Awful player, man.
No, Iggy, he was assisting. He was scoring goals. I thought under Mourinho, he wasn't bad under Mourinho.
I mean, I know how much.
You mean he was doing the stuff that he was paid to do?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though. Like he was doing what he was supposed to do under Mourinho, but every other manager, it didn't. It was a disaster. Yeah. I'm not blaming the managers, by the way. I'm just saying, just that Mourinho period, I thought Ndombele actually did all right for us.
Just go and watch his Spurs highlights. You see some of the tricks, some of the fun he had in midfield. He just wasn't consistent enough, and it would literally be 15 minutes a game or something. But then he only literally got 30, 40 minutes a game anyway, didn't he? Because he was out. He started off unfit, didn't he?
Yeah, he never had fitness at Spurs. Even under Mourinho, he never had fitness. He always looked leggy after a while.
55, 60 minutes he'll be substituted every time. He made it just about on the hour. Even under Pochettino, if you remember, he kept taking him off around that time.
But that's good due diligence done by the club, right?
Wasted enough time and breath on him. Wasted enough time and breath on that geezer.
But that was good due diligence done by the club, right?
Yeah, listen. We can make a whole stream on Ndombele and who's to blame, and
I'm sure you'd be there.
It was just no. If you do that, pointless me being there. It's just an utter. We just basically bought him on the back of one half decent, Champions League run he had with his team. Was it Lyon, I believe? Forgive me if I can't remember the team he played for.
Yeah, Lyon. Yeah.
Yeah. So he had a good Champions League then, but it's context, isn't it? It's like they were set up in a way that favoured him, maybe the way they played, but it just didn't. It never there was not a single spell and month, 2, 3, 6 months where he lit Tottenham in the White Hart Lane. He lit it up. He was meant to be that player, man. That was supposed to light things up. Nah, man. He put candles out, mate. He put candles out.
Very quickly to everyone watching the show, I've just put a comment and I've pinned it to the top. We are trying to be nominated. You can vote here as well. There's a link. We are trying to be nominated for the Football Content Awards, and we have entered the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Awards and the Best Football Club Premier League. Look, they're the only ones we can win, right? They're the only ones we've got a chance. So
You haven't.
Listen,
For a laugh. You know what, everyone in the chat, for a laugh, just do it. How funny.
We've got Americans, we've got white, brown, olive, we've got all colours here, right? So we are diverse. And we include everyone. Everyone's welcome on Tottenham Away. So if anyone gets a chance, go here and please vote. And when you do, these are the 2 boxes you tick. That one and this one. Many thanks. God bless you all.
If
you don't
nothing
want to vote,
else, just do it for a laugh because it would be absolutely hilarious if we.
listen.
How
I
funny
promise
would
you
it
this.
be if it's a meal awards and the diversity award goes up to Stelio.
Listen, no, Tottenham Away, right? Right. I promise. I'm going to do a political pledge. I pledge to all of you viewers right now, if you help us win one of these awards, not only will we film and we collect it in front of the audience, but the first thing we will
There's
do
going
when
to
we
be an
go up there,
audience.
it's a big ceremony. They do it in a stadium as well, right?
Fuck
We will
yeah.
go up there, and when they present the award, as soon as the mic's in front of us, the first thing we will say is, "Levy out!" in front of the whole hall. And we'll just do a 1-minute rant on Levy. That's my promise to you. But you got to vote. You got to vote. So take it as you wish. But anyway, back to the show. Important things to talk about.
That's a fair point. No women in the panel, though. That's strange. Yeah.
What do you mean? Ellie's coming on next week.
Oh, there you go.
Ellie Hoybier. Yeah.
There you go.
Ellie. Actually, I spoke to her this week. She's coming back on our channel. She started her own channel now as well. So, but anyway,
ladies in the chat. There you go.
To the ladies in the chat, Ellie Hoybier will be featured. Will be featuring.
Nice.
Yeah, she might have to change her name because I don't think Hoybier is going to be around for much longer. So, might have to be. I don't know.
You say that, but Dietrich Kane's still called Dietrich Kane, and Kane left. So,
but Dietrich's an idiot. And like, we know that. Like, we've established that.
Iggy, diversity, equality.
Yeah, idiots
and
everywhere.
inclusion.
Doesn't matter what,
we
what
include
you are.
idiots. It's fine, JP. We include them.
Don't matter what you are. The idiots are everywhere. You know? We are inclusive of idiots. That's why we have Dietrich's comments come up. So
we've got Lee firing shots at Maz. We've got Iggy firing shots at
Wait, Dietrich fires shots at me every single time. If he doesn't do it on here on stream, he's messaging me messages, flying shots. So
he pays for the privilege, though, Iggy, right?
Also that as well. So, and
so big up
every time. Yeah, big up.
Say the link doesn't work. What do you mean doesn't work? Why not?
It didn't work for me either. The one that you posted in chat, I clicked on it to check it.
All right, let me try again. Don't worry. Whilst we're sorting this out.
I don't think it's turned into a link. It's
talking
just
about
half of it's
Egypt.
I'll repost the link in a minute, guys. I'll repost the link in a minute. Clearly I've done something wrong, but whilst I find the link for the diversity, inclusion, and ethical, whatever it is, I don't know what it's called. There's 3 players.
What is this?
You'd have more women on if you weren't so. Another woman. Okay, she's an Arsenal fan, but still, we've had C Cube on the show many times.
I thought she was a
female. I can't believe you just called her a Gouda.
I thought she was a Palace fan.
If you guys can fire shots, I'm allowed one. Right, that's my one.
Called her Gouda.
JP, you got an hour and a half to pick who you want to fire a shot.
Yeah. Cube's gonna come back with fire. Cube's gonna come back with fire.
That's all right. Guys, there's 3 players I want to talk about. We're linked with 2 of them quite strongly, one of them not so much, but nonetheless, they all, I think, bring value to the club, and it's the kind of signs we should be going for. Really, we should sign all 3 of them, but we're not going to. Eze, Olise, and Santiago Gimenez. So all attacking players. They've got goals in them. Obviously, Gimenez is a striker, so he's one we definitely should definitely bring in because we desperately need a striker. Unless you think Richarlison and Veliz are the answer. But we'll come on to Veliz because there's been some comments made about him this week. So Gimenez is a striker. Elise and Eze, are they wide players? Are they attacking midfielders? I think they're hybrids. But let's start with Eze because that's the strongest link we've got. Iggy, what's your thoughts on Eze? Is it a player you want at Spurs? Do you think he's a top player? Do you think it's whose position would he take? What do you think of Eze?
He's better than what we got. Let's just start with that. He's already. He'd be better than what we got. English, which is
Yeah.
you know we have to have. Look, first time in how many years we haven't got an English player, we haven't got a Tottenham player playing for England, so we have to change that, and we need to start introducing a few more English players within the team. But yeah, he's definitely better than what we got, and we provide a very valid alternative, not alternative, but a valid option on both sides of the pitch. But so yeah, I'm all for he's an exciting player, as is Olise, who plays in the same team. So I think it would be a really good addition, and you know, provides with goals. He's very good with free kicks, as he proved against us at White Hart Lane. He scored a goal from a free kick, so it just gives us another dimension having in the team. So if we can get a good deal for him, and we don't pay over the odds, I hope we don't pay over the odds for him, because that would mess up, you know, the following the rest of the players that we really need to bring in. Then yeah, why not bring him in? It ticks all the boxes for me personally.
Do you think Eze is because you said he's better than what we got, but for me
It's not very
personally,
hard, I know.
well, no, it's not. But for me, I look at Eze and I think he's a good player. I think he's definitely better than what we got. Would I take him? Yes, because I think he's better than any forward player we've got other than Son. I think he's better than Johnson, Timo, Solomon, Veliz, Richarlison. I think he's better than all of them. And I think he can actually play as a midfielder as well. I don't think he's the hype that we're making him to be, though. Like, I don't look at him and I think, yeah, you're that elite player. I don't put him in that category. And I think a lot of Spurs fans are getting carried away with it and thinking, oh, this is like signing Van der Vaart. This is like signing Klinsmann. No, I don't
He's
think
still
that
young,
at all.
isn't he?
Yeah, but still, you got to be
No, he's not.
realistic.
No, he's
You got
24, 25. He's
you got to be
24, 25.
realistic. The players that we're gonna have are gonna be like
You
sort
know,
of like
Iggy, I'm not
23,
knocking it.
24,
I'm not knocking it. I'm just
hungry,
saying.
and ones that
I
can
don't
kick
think.
on with
I
margins
don't
of
think.
growth.
What I'm saying is, I don't think he's that wow player. I don't think he's this player that comes and suddenly, raw, we signed him. No way. I don't think he's that.
We
But
ain't gonna get those players.
is he a player that needs to be in our squad because that is the minimum level we should expect? Yes, I think that's the minimum level we should expect. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to dismiss the signing. I just think
No,
we're getting
I know
some people are
those
getting a bit
wild
overhyped
players.
with it.
The wild players
Yeah.
are the ones that are established players, and the ones that if
Exactly.
you're getting him
Exactly.
from another team, you're thinking, yeah, you know what, he's done bits. Then he's coming to Tottenham, but then you also have to ask, why would those players that you're with, we
Ain't
want
coming.
the club want to come to Tottenham? What is it about Tottenham that we have that would, you know, like that marriage? Why would they want to get together with Tottenham? So you're only
None of
gonna
them.
the only players you're gonna attract that those players are on the cusp of becoming very good players, young, and that could
He's
use.
26. He's 26. I said 24. He's 26. He's even
Oh,
older.
but he's there, man. He's like
Still a good age.
that
Still a
height.
good age, though.
So he's on the cusp of that next jump, and Palace to Spurs is a jump. There's no two ways about that. But that's the kind of players that we're gonna get, unless we show complete, you know, turnaround and really start making believe that the Tottenham is the place to be. I don't think we're there at this moment, but there's no, you know, it doesn't mean that we can't get there in the near future. Sadly, do I believe that can happen? Or will it happen? I'm more no than yes at the moment, in all fairness. And for me, look, man, it's really hard for me to like be in this mindset, man. But I have to be when I speak to people, man. I have to be honest and tell them what I really think and how I feel about the situation. Do I like being in that situation or feeling like that? No. But right now, we have to be honest and say, and that's where we're at, guys.
JP, what do you think of Eze? Is that because my only concern with it, JP, my concern with it is this: we do sign him, which no fan will be upset by. We'll all be happy with it, but it will be branded, marketed, and all the YouTube channels and podcasts will make it become the marquee signing,
of the decade.
the marquee player, and that for me, it's a bit.
Nah. I think I had this conversation with you the other day, right? Because I'd rather Olise. I think he's a bit more.
he's
of
better.
a talented player. He seems to have a bit more about him. Eze, he's a little bit raw, isn't he? Talented, absolutely talented, and he's like I would still say he's like still young. I know he's 24, 26, kind of like whatever like age he is, but my head and my heart is honestly saying it's all a red herring, and we're not going to sign him because if what we'll do is if we sign him, we have Son, and we'll have our third highest wage earner on that left hand side. Yeah, that ain't happening. Kind of like from my perspective, because if we get a striker, Sonny will be put out on the left, and we will know that the third highest wage earner at our club is going to be that backup over there. So personally, as much as I hate to break it to a lot of people, I don't think that we're going to get him. I think we'll focus more our eggs. Gimenez, what side does he play on?
He's a striker.
That's the person that I think we'll go for.
But do you know what, JP? Ambition for me, though, just to give you an example, ambition for me, if Tottenham were to really change their mindset,
get him as well.
of
Yeah,
not only get them both,
yeah.
to go with
100%.
Palace and say, do you know what, Eze and Olise is 100 bags, give us both, and you actually sign them. That to me would be like, will make me go, will make me sit up and listen.
That'd be good. That'd be big
I'd be
for
like,
Spurs.
that's a good statement, man. And that for me will change. It will begin to open eyes, also, and send a message out, man. But to say, look, we were those areas that we were looking to improve in the wider areas. We've just gone out and got two of the most exciting players in the Premier League right now. That is a statement. We will make that statement, or anywhere near.
That's the kind of thing we all want to happen, right? But it's really sad that our board has pushed us a lot into this mindset of. At the start of seasons years back, we still go, we'll go and get this person, go and get this person, go and get this person. Suddenly now we see these people, we want these people, but we automatically also come up with excuses as to why we won't get him. I think that's a shame.
It's because we argue too much over finances, and everyone's a financial expert, guru, whatnot, and we're not talking football anymore, and we're forgetting that we built a £1 billion stadium so that we can buy both players. That's the whole point of it, right? Well, in the eyes of the fans, that was the point of it. But clearly, we're gonna have to wait and see what the real plan is. But yeah, you're right. We should. Lee, by the way, everyone, the link is now correct. I've also pinned it to the top of the chat. Feel free to vote for us. Yeah, Lee, what would you make of Eze? Do you think it's a massive signing for Spurs, or do you think it should be one of many just as good as Eze, if not better?
I think it's an expected signing if we want to get better than we are, right? I'm with JP. I prefer Olise over him. I think he's off. I think he's off to Man United, though, not Chelsea, as a load of people are saying. I think you'll find Man United are the ones that are going to buy him, if anyone, because he's a United fan as well. But I think this, again, as Iggy said earlier, there's context to this, right? I think he is definitely a step up from what we've got. I praised him in the first England match, or the friendly the other day, for being about one of the other only players that actually tried to do anything. It was a bit stale.
He ran at players, didn't he?
Yeah. And I noticed it's as much as what he does off the ball than what he does on the ball. He very much moves around and pulls defenders out, which is great. I don't think he's world class, and I don't think he'll be a statement signing in the sense of, one of the best things in the world. And I think we've got to be careful here, because the way that Palace played and the fact that him, Olise and Mateta formed a really, really good front three for playing at Palace and what they did. I don't think he's going to have that at Tottenham. And I worry that he's going to be put on a pedestal and it's like, well, here he is. Eze's here. Fantastic. He's absolutely class. He's elite. And he just doesn't he doesn't reach that level because he's going to have to play with, at the moment, the likes of Johnson and Son or Richie up front, which is just not the same as the chemistry that he had at Crystal Palace. So I'm not going to put him. I don't want to big him up too much. But don't get me wrong. I think he's a talented player. I think he's much better than what we've got. I'm almost thinking about this the other day that, I mean, I don't think we can get both of them, even if we chucked money at Palace and said, because I don't think Elise wants to come to London. I think he wants to go to United, and I think they offer just as much as we do. And I think that's, if he wants to go there, fine, let him go there. But I think the puzzle only works with Eze, and it only starts looking good if we get someone up top as well. Otherwise, I think it's just another player that is there as a statement signing that the club goes, oh, look who we've signed, Eze, and stuff like that. But in terms of, does he fit the system, and does the system work for him, and do we have the other players to create that attacking front three, not just two wingers and a striker, that attacking front three that are going to score you goals? Like, you know, he's been saying all along, you know, I don't really work with strikers. I work with attacking fronts that can all score. The goals come from all over the place. I think he can definitely get you goals. Unbelievable what he's done at Palace, really, based on what they've done this season. But it's got to come. Other things have got to happen as well. It can't just be him. Other things have got to work and other spaces have got to be filled for it to be successful, I think.
It's true, you know, if we do just sign Eze and that's the big signing. JP, you're on mute. If we do sign him and he's the big signing, then we risk saying, right, well, that fixes the problems, when no, it doesn't. There's other problems as well, isn't there? So, yeah, JP, what were you going to say? JP?
It also impacts where Son plays, right? Because what does that mean for Son if he comes? Because I would expect if we get a striker, Sonny takes that left-hand side.
Well, you're right. And I think I think for one season, JP, I think it's almost like he's going to not listen. I don't want to put him in this sort of category, but it's almost like the end of Son, the big rising of the new Son, something like that. Yeah. Or maybe we don't get two wingers. Maybe we interchange them two on the left and the right, and we buy a striker. You've got, just for instance, you've got Eze and Son on your two attacking, one of the most prolific goal scorers that we've had, and another up and coming that can score goals. You can put a striker in there as well. You're looking all of a sudden a lot better than you were with Timo, Johnson and Richie, right? Maybe that's a plan. Maybe it doesn't need to have two. Maybe Son can do it for another year.
Guys, I'm of the opinion is get the players in, get the players in, and let them fight it out.
Yeah, and work
between
it out.
Man, that's the competition. It's modern day football. You need to fight for your place. No one's got their feet under the table, including Son. He's got to actually. Do you know what? If anything, it should stimulate those players and to give even more to make sure that their names on the sheet every the starting 11 of every game. And the only way you're going to create that is by bringing players in and providing that competition. Otherwise, where's the hunger? You know, the hunger's, it's not, people say, yeah, but players should be hungry anyway. Yes, I agree. They should be hungry anyway. But if you don't have an element of competition within your position,
you get comfortable, don't you?
It's subconsciously.
You just end up with backups, don't you?
Yeah, it does. It doesn't automatically happen. Big up, mate. It doesn't automatically happen. It's just. It's inevitable. Even without wanting to, it happens. So that's what I'm saying. Bring some new faces into Hotspur Way. Get those players to have a look around and see, do you know what? We brought that player through the door, that player through the door, within the camp, it galvanizes, it gets everyone excited and buzzing again. That's how you create it. Without doing that, or without doing any of that, or a little bit of that, yeah, it gives you maybe a burst, but it's not going to be enough to make the dent that I would like to see. That's all, guys.
The main statement signing should really and has to be a striker, doesn't it? That has to be the statement signing if you're going to make a statement signing.
I don't believe that we need a statement signing. I think we need it's not
Five.
as much as a
Five
statement
statement
signing.
signings.
We need to make a statement to say we know where we need to strengthen, and we've gone out and achieved that. We need to strengthen in the six. We need wingers. We need
He's
a
not
striker. That's the statement you're making. Just for me, signing one player isn't a statement. You're expected to do that unless you're Pochettino 5-10 years ago. In that kind of era, that's a show of intent. Is right. We're going to go and buy this player. We're going to go buy it. But bang, bang, bang. Buy those now. There's intention there. Now we're buying players to strengthen the squad overall, not just one player. If that's all it ends up being, then you're right. It's a joke, isn't it?
The only problem I have
No
with that
intent there.
is the only problem I have with that is we could go out and buy, as Stel said, and as we know, the 8 players, right? And that could be our statement, right? But because we go and buy 8 players to fill the positions that we need, they're all going to be substandard. 8
No.
players.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about going and buy, 4 players in the ilk of, the Eze's and Gimenez and a Paulinho or something like that. That four of those signings for me would be a good window. Not 8 players just for the sake of it.
You're looking about 250 mil there, aren't you?
But better to go and get 3/4 players than go and get 8 or 9 on the cheap. It's pointless. I don't see the point.
We've done that already, Iggy.
It's been you need to go and get and say, do you know what? This summer we're going to go and get 2 quality players or 3 quality players. Next summer we're going to go and build on that and so forth. Players like teams like Arsenal and like Chelsea, they need a number 9 to really complete that. That number 9 for those 2 teams, for example, will really make a massive difference. So they can even afford to blow most of their budget. Arsenal certainly can blow most of their budget on that proper number 9 that will really get them 20, 25 goals a season. And that will push that what they've done this season even further. But they're in that situation. We need to get to that kind of point. But the way we do that is by building season after season and going out there and beat, and that's the other thing, JP. You need to go out there and beat the competition because there are other teams, like I just mentioned, 2 of them. They need a number 9. So where's the number 9 going to be more attracted to? Is those teams more than us because of where their stature within the Champions League football, and in Arsenal's case, that is. And Chelsea, like they've been like this now, but next season or 2 they'll be competing again because that's just where they are. We need to do something out of the ordinary to really get those players in, and the only way you're going to do that is by getting identifying those gems who are not quite to that elite level, but they're really pushing on to go and get there and moving quick, signing them up and announcing them when the transfer market opens, say bang, bang, bang. That would be brilliant to do something like that. Can we do that? We can, but are we set up to do it? I don't know, man. I don't think we are.
That's 100% Iggy. But what kicks me in the nuts straight away is the fact that we've gone and signed, and I'm not even going to say his name. From now on, I'm going to call him the third highest wage. The third highest wage earner at our club.
Can we call him Mr. Payday?
Mr. Payday, right?
Mr. Payday.
Payslip.
Mr. Payslip. Mr. Payslip.
Loan payment, is it? No, like what's that company? Loan day payment or something?
Wonga. Let's call him Wonga.
Loan.
Yeah.
The problem, Willy Wonga. The problem
Wonga.
The problem wasn't so much getting him because we could have made that deal happen at any point.
Oh my lord.
We could have made that deal happen at any point. It wasn't like half of Europe was down to get him. We could have made that deal. We could have done it further than hand, and probably wouldn't have wound everyone up in the way they did. But because it's like, oh shit, we gone and got him first. Like he was like, we need to get this done now. It was almost as if it was done as we need to get this done straight away. And I wish we showed the same sort of intent for the players that we've just been talking about. What we would like to see in the club.
At least
that's the kind of thing. But look, the summer's long. The transfer market hasn't opened yet. It's open on Friday.
The big thing, Iggy, though, is Euros are starting this Friday.
Listen, JP,
if they've not done any of their crap by now, the Euros start this Friday.
The transfer window opens on Friday as well, 14th of July.
Listen, this is a thing. If it's true, this is a thing needs to be done now. It needs to be wrapped up now. Because the worst possible thing that can happen is he starts playing for England. He has an absolute blinding tournament, and all of a sudden, everyone and their mother comes in, starts going, "Hello, we'll have a bit of that. Thank you."
The price has gone up.
It just can't happen. It's got to be done now. It's got to be done. It's got. I expect on Monday or Tuesday, whatever, Eze, Spurs. If it's not, then and this drags out, we're going to be in trouble. It's as simple as that.
Normally, what happens though, Lee, once a tournament starts, everyone has like we're not worried about signing for new clubs right now. We'll wait until after the tournament finishes.
That's why this needs to have been done already. This is why it's already needs to be talked about in the background.
Do you guys see any business being done during the Euros? And don't forget, there's Copa America as well. So do you see business being done in the next 4 or 5 weeks realistically?
Well, it's got to, because by the time the Euros end, by the time the Euros are done, or even Copa America is done,
they're going away on.
We're literally in pre-season, aren't we? We're literally on the back of pre-season. I think.
But if Iggy, my point is, if you've got players on international duty, their mind isn't on moving clubs,
that's
medicals.
Why you have agents, man. Agents are
there. The agents are there.
Still has to agree and stuff. And medicals.
What I'm trying to say is the player's head is in the tournament. They're focused in a competitive environment. They're not,
Yeah, but the players
in a situation where they can think about it. They're relaxed. They're chill with the family. Discuss it with your wife, your kids, and whatnot.
No, I don't think that listen, this football world is on, switched on 24/7. So I think whilst the players playing a tournament and
what transfers got done last Euros?
Oh my God, the 2021. I can remember.
I don't remember transfers being done during the tournament.
Personally, I don't think there will be. Once a team gets knocked out, then they'll start talking about it and stuff like that. But while the players are with their squads and getting in training and looking to the next game and stuff, it's like blinkered, isn't it?
As I say, JP, they've been spouting out from inside the camp saying that we've
already they got the third highest wage player in the thing,
right? So if they haven't started tapping people up already, then more fool us, basically, when it comes to the end of the tournament.
That's what I'm saying, Lee. They started scouting whenever they started getting Lange and Flange and everyone else there. And we ended up getting Timo Werner on loan.
But this makes if I know we keep going on about this, and it might not ever happen. It might just be a load of rubbish. But this makes the Timo thing even more.
I know it doesn't make sense.
Nonsense. It doesn't make any sense, because if you're going to bring in a player which predominantly plays on the left, right, and you've got Son, and there is intent to buy a striker, then he becomes third choice like he was at his last club.
You're not going to get a third highest earner, are you, at the club on loan?
No. It makes absolutely no sense at all.
That's why
it's getting even more.
They think it's going to be cold water.
Let's move it on to another player. Plays for Feyenoord, striker. We've been heavily linked with him. Goes by the name of Santiago Gimenez, Mexican footballer.
Van Hooijdonk.
Looks like Ben Davis.
He does a bit, doesn't he?
No, he don't. What are you talking about?
I just said it for a
fact. Have any of you guys watched him play, by the way?
No, I don't know much about him.
A few.
I'm not going to fall for that one.
Bits and pieces here and there.
Not
nothing enough to make a.
I'm going to stick my neck out on the line here, right? I've actually got
not known as empty cabinet.
Mate, don't. Honestly, that empty cabinet was an absolute stinker. The thing is, do you know what the worst thing about it is? Matt pauses and goes, "Who's that? Who's he talking about?" Oh, you mean? He goes, "Oh, does he mean Hugo? Whatever his name is, plays for PSG." I didn't know. I was trying to figure it out. And I went, Matt, do you want to take this one? So I've jumped on Google to find out who this empty cabinet is. Okay, but I didn't know. Obviously, it was a joke. So Matt starts talking about the PSG player, and then I've gone, "Oh, him? Yeah, he's good." It doesn't matter what we say. It doesn't matter how we try and justify it.
That's what I was just going to say.
The visuals are, and poor Matt Right
You
after
know
the
what I
show,
mean?
he was stressing. He goes to me, mate, I really thought you meant Hugo. I go, Matt, it doesn't matter what we think. We're going to get
Mate,
rid.
You
It
Mate,
gotta
doesn't
take the
matter
pie.
what we think.
You gotta
yeah,
take the pie in the face,
it was
haven't you?
empty cabinet,
Yeah.
mate. It was-
Take the pie in the face. Move on.
The worst thing is, if he never super chatted, I would never have even looked at it. Because it was a super chat. I read
Done
it
it on
out.
purpose, isn't he?
Yeah, man, he got us good. To be fair, he got us good. But yeah, look, Gimenez. I've watched him play, guys, and I'm going to put my neck out on this one. I think we should sign him for sure. Physically, Premier League football player. On the ball, I'm going to say this, man. His first touch
Don't do
is
it.
borderline
Not Harry
Berbatov-esque.
Kane.
Berbatov-esque. His first, do you know what is so impressive about this guy? Not only does he control the ball on the first touch, whether it's chest, head, thigh, inside foot, outside foot, his first touch is so intelligent. He always beats the man on the first touch. He always buys himself half a yard on the first touch. He's quality, man. That first touch makes his game. And then after that, is he as good of a finisher as what Berbatov is? No, he's not. Can he finish? Yes. But he's going to be a bit like Defoe, where he needs a few chances, he bags one. He's not as clinical as Kane or Berbatov. I would never put him in that level, that league. But his first touch is so intelligent, he opens up the game. The way he brings other players into the game, and what's really good about him, he is freaking quality in the air, man. He's better than Richie in the air, I'm telling you. He's proper good in the air. So if we do decide to whip some balls in the box, we've got someone that can get on the end of them and put it in the back of the net. He can finish with left and right foot as well. But as a striker that can drop deep and carry it forward, that can pick up the ball out wide, first touch beats the man on the first touch, opens it up. He's good and he can score. He's got the whole package, but he still needs developing and he's young. And just to show you his stats as well, I'm not sure if you guys at home can see this clearly. I'll read it out for you. But in the Eredivisie, 2 seasons in a row, a year ago, he scored 15 goals in 32. So one goal in every 2 games. This season, he improved 23 goals in 30 games. And his assists were 2 the year before, 6 this year. So he's improved with age. In terms of the cup, he scored no goals in the cup this year. He scored 3 last year. In the Europa League, he scored 1, but he only played 2 games, so 1 in 2. The year before, 9 games, scored 5. And again, in the UEFA Champions League, played 4 games, scored 2. So his average in all competitions, whether it's Europa Cup, Champions League, Domestic Cup, and League, and okay, it is Holland, so I'm not getting carried away, but he scores 1 in every 2. So if he plays 38 games, we've got a player that's going to score roughly 20 goals a season. Plus cup games, I think he can score between 20 to 25 goals a season in the Premier League if he performs. That's my thinking. Definitely with Europa Cup. So he's a striker for sure. But anyone that hasn't seen this guy play, look at the power he possesses and the technical ability on that first touch makes him the player that he is. I'm not saying he's elite, he's world-class, he's the best thing. No. But in terms of a play we can get that maybe is just below the radar of other clubs looking at him, bigger clubs, who is in our price bracket, I think we should buy him. 100%.
It looks like, but looking at that, he puts himself about because he's picked up some yellow cards as well. So it looks like he doesn't hold himself. Yeah, doesn't hold himself
he's
back.
made for the Premier League. So I if you said to me, who do you want? Eze, Elise, Gimenez? I would have Elise first, I'd have Gimenez second, and Eze third. I'd put him ahead of Eze as a player we should sign. My opinion, though, my view. I think Dietrich has got something to say on this. Let's see what he says. Thank you for the super chat, Dietrich. He says, Stel, I could tell you didn't watch Gimenez. His biggest weakness are ball control. No, it's not. No, it's not, Dietrich. I disagree. His first touch is bang on the money. He has no outstanding strengths. PS stats prove it. Now, I disagree with you, Dietrich. I'm massively... We watched 2 different players. Passing, I don't know much about. I'm not going to say his passing is immaculate, but his first touch is bang on point. So, look, again, maybe I see a different game to Dietrich. Maybe people agree Maybe people disagree, but
I didn't. I saw a comment from Lee, but didn't Van der Vaart big him up as well? Because I thought
Gimenez-
Van der Vaart. I thought I heard somewhere Van der Vaart was bigging him up.
yeah, Lee's right. He lacks pace, but so did Teddy Sheringham. And this is my point, Lee. That's why his first touch makes him the player he is, because he lacks the pace, but his intelligence of what type of first touch he takes and where he puts that, he pulls away from the player. He bides himself that moment. And that's what I was trying to emphasize on when I said that. You're right. He does lack the pace. He's not an electric forward.
Yeah, but it's all relative.
Looking on Sofa Score, it does say weakness, ball control, and passing.
Yeah, that's probably what Dietrich looked at. But all I'm trying to say though is context. That if he's surrounded by the right players that complement,
I disagree with
him,
that. I disagree with Sofa Score. His
not
ball control's good.
If he's not the quickest, if he's surrounded by players that are quick around him, then it can still work. So
it doesn't need to be right. He just needs to be in the right place as a goal scorer.
Yeah, it's
and
time.
be able to put the ball in there.
Harry Kane. Did Harry Kane have pace? Was Harry Kane a quick player? No.
But he was surrounded by players who were quick, so they
He was intelligent, Iggy. He was a smart player.
Listen.
Yeah.
You need, as a striker, the number one thing is timing. Your timing has to be good. Wherever you are in and around the area, if your timing is good and you can follow the play and get yourself into the areas, it's all timing. As long as you've got you're one step ahead of your opponent, you will get goals, man. There's not two ways about that.
3.6 shots per game, 0.8 goals per game, and averagely 2 shots on target.
Yeah, but look how many he scored, JP.
23.
23 goals in 30 matches in the league. Listen, context, it is Holland. So I am putting a bit of context on it. That's why I'm not getting carried away. But I think just you know, you just look at a player and you just know. Like it's just, you know what, you are made for the Premier League. I look at him and I really think that. I think that he's made for the Premier League. That's just my view on it.
Do you know, just to get a bit off topic a little bit, I don't think I've ever asked you still, like, what is your standpoint on Toney?
Just really quickly before you said that, still 500 and nearly 600 people like watching. So big, massive, well done, and thank you to all of you guys. Hit that like.
You can tell there's no football on.
Just to help that diversity and inclusion.
You can tell there's no football on.
Subscribe.
Is it Tottenham ain't playing? We haven't played in weeks. No Premier League. There you go. Numbers are up.
It's nice to have you.
People are as bored of not watching football as we are, so we are talking football. I'm only joking, guys. Great that you're all on.
Make sure to vote. Make sure to vote. They're the 2 boxes you tick. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Don't forget. Okay. Make sure you tick.
If nothing else, do it for a laugh.
It's pinned to the top of the chat as well.
We'll send Stell over there.
Yeah. Listen, I'll go. I'll give a nice speech in front of the world of YouTubers. I'll give a really nice poetic speech on Enoch Levy and Donald Cullen. It'll be epic.
I'll make some calls. Make sure some bouncers come with you as well.
Bulletproof vest, knife-proof jacket. But you know,
escort by the police.
I think Ivan Toney, for me, he's Premier League proven. He's a big old lump as well. He's got the power for it. Is he better than what we got? Yes. My only issue, and I don't know how you figure this out. Since he's come back from that ban, he's not been quite the same. Now, I don't know whether that's because of Brentford. I don't know whether that's because mentally of where he's at, or whether he's just missed quite
a year out,
pre-season, and he needs a good pre-season. I don't even know how he managed to get himself into the England
team. But I do think, you know, with that gambling issue, there's baggage, and he's yet to prove he's bounced back from it. So, as much as I say yes, and I will say yes, I would take Toney. If we're going to end up paying big bucks, someone really needs to do their due diligence on his mental state. Otherwise, we're going to have another Ndombele on our hands. I don't want that. It's a player that up here, it's not quite right. Maybe a change of scenery gives him that. Maybe a change of scenery gives him that rebirth.
We'll see how the Euros goes. You know, if he gets any game time in the Euros,
Listen,
and
I'll
he
be honest
picks up
with you.
a couple of goals or something.
He's not
like
going to
that.
play ahead of Harry Kane, though, is he?
No,
He's not gonna-
but he may
I'm
come
surprised
on
to see him in there.
15, 20 minutes to go or something like that.
Yeah, true.
And it may give him a boost as well, so it could carry him into a good place in the new season.
I'm going to say with Toney, I don't get it really. Yeah, he's definitely a striker and we need one, but the price that we're paying, and by the time by the time we start the league, he'll be pushing 29. Compare him to Gimenez, the amount of goals, I think they're quite similar. I would take Gimenez every day because he's got more potential because he's only 23. And it probably costs us less. I'm not
but
sure.
it could take him a season lead to get up to speed, right? Whereas he's Premiership ready.
No, I just think he needs a good pre-season. I'm
No,
surprised.
no,
like I said, I'm surprised to see him in the England
No,
team.
I'm talking about
Tony's
Gimenez.
at 29 and 50 million. I don't think it's a great investment.
But
I agree. For the price,
fine
it's a lot of money.
It's fine
So
for an
the price, a lot of money.
investment,
For the
right?
age, it's a lot of money, but he's never achieved that level, has he? He's never quite.
I mean, again, it's going to be a homegrown thing, right? Because he's going to come into that. But I just for the money, I think even if it takes him as a seasonal or whatever to really get firing, I think you've got more potential there than you have with Toney, who could be on the decline from next year. I mean, you don't know when a striker or any player is going to be up or down. Or I know that a lot of players are playing to look much later in the years, but I mean, I watched him playing for England when he came on the other night. I just don't think he did much at all, if I'm honest. But you know, again, I've not watched enough of him. I've not watched enough of Brentford to see what he's like every match.
It's just another player for the future that I'm not interested in right now. I want to get someone who can hit the ground running next season.
I don't think Gimenez will be one for the future. I think he'll just need a time to adapt to the Premier League. He's proven he can score goals.
Dietrich K, another super chat, says realistic option for striker are Dibrick, Girona, and Toney. Do you know a lot of fans have been talking about Guirassy?
His quality.
He does look good. He does look good, I have to say. But are we going to have a lot of competition for him? Because players like him and players like Sesko, I'm hearing a lot of clubs are looking. And one thing we're not going to do is go toe to toe with clubs bigger than us. We're not going to win those battles.
And this is the thing. The other thing,
plus we've got no Champions League to offer either. So what's our attraction? Look at our stadium.
They've got to come. The thing is, with these players, to have the best, chance of them hitting the ground running, they need to come into a context, a team where they.
I've got mine somewhere actually.
Sorry, we're talking about
you lot are rude, man.
I was going to say, I'm trying to listen to Iggy here, and everyone's talking over him. I actually thought for a moment that they couldn't hear him speak. Give the man
No. For me, it comes down to the fact that for the striker, especially for a striker to hit the ground running straight away in a
I bought this the other. I'm joking.
You know what?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Iggy, mate. I'm sorry.
Like Sony are doing a great deal.
Carry on.
So I got Iggy.
We'll never know.
I've got Iggy. Go.
No, it doesn't
matter. That was Lee's fault, by the way. That was Lee's fault.
You saw it. Join the crowd. Don't worry.
Oh my lord.
We're done. We're done talking about.
No. Go on.
We're just playing. I'm done.
Don't be like that.
I'm done. I'm done talking about Gracie. Next subject.
No, I want to hear it. Would you have him over Toney? Would you have him over Toney? Serious question.
Premier League proven, so I would choose Toney.
Really?
Premier League proven. If I'm gonna put my money, well, if I'm gonna take a punt, no. Since we're on the subject of Toney, if we're gonna take a punt, if I'm gonna spend £5 on a bet that's gonna give me a return, I'm gonna put it on a percentage of where I think it's gonna succeed. In that case, Toney's Premier League proven, Guirassy isn't. So I'll go with Toney. That's it.
Right,
I don't think Guirassy is no good or anything like that. But right now, you got to look at it as for any player. that comes from abroad into this country and play in the Premier League, he's going to have his own personal obstacles to overcome. For a striker, is an even added pressure because he's got to deliver goals. That is what a striker is solely judged
Jan
on.
Vertonghen, did he have
Vertonghen's a
Udogie,
defender.
Mario?
He's a defender. They're defenders. I'm not saying being a defender is easy or then
Yeah, but we
I'm
got
not. I'm saying that the added pressure for a striker is that he has to deliver goals as well as performances, which is what defenders have to bring in, which is what midfielders have to bring.
Yeah, the
They got
spotlight is
the
more
added
on you.
pressure,
The
the
spotlight
spotlight's
is
on
more
you,
on you.
and even
It is.
more so if you spend a lot of money on that striker. You spend a lot of striker, and
Mm.
don't forget they've got that big shadow they're chasing. They've got to fill in that massive gap that Harry Kane's left, which ain't going to be easy. So whoever comes in at Tottenham Hotspur wearing the number 9 or number 10 shirt is to fill in that massive hole left by Harry Kane. So they're going to be under the cosh, whatever happens. So he's got to be mentally strong to say that he's going to make it. So for me, that is what the baggage that the Premier League and coming to Tottenham plays the number 9 is going to have anyway. So, and to do that, for the striker to have the best chance possible of succeeding at Tottenham Hotspur, the context has to be right. The team has to be flying. The team has to be proper drilled and gelled, and the wingers have to be providing the service to the striker. And we know that we don't create a lot of chances for the striker. So, at this very moment, so it's going to be almost like walls to the back situation. So until you have those things in place, a striker coming from abroad is going to be having all these difficulties. Which is why I'm saying, if I had to take a punt, I'll say Toney because he's already done it. So the pressure, you'd be buying a striker that has scored goals in the Premier League, so there wouldn't be any question marks on that. Or Watkins, or whoever you want, they've scored. Or even Calvin Lewin from Everton, or those players have scored goals in the Premier League, so there wouldn't be like looking at him in a certain way that perhaps we look at if a players coming from abroad. So there's all of that to take into consideration when you're buying a striker, and you want them to succeed. If you're going to spend a big amount of money, you want them to succeed. You need them to succeed because if they're not scoring goals, then we've just spent a whole lot of money on a player that's doing the same things as the current players are doing right now. Not scoring enough.
Would you take Rashford?
Who was that young striker that we already got from Holland like a few years ago?
Vincent Janssen.
Yeah.
He scored a lot of goals as well before he came to us.
And like he just
we didn't play with him suit his
did he?
style, man. We didn't play. It's the same thing we did with Soldado, man. Soldado did well in Spain. He came to Spurs. We didn't
With a
really put
2,
him in
played him in a 1.
Yeah, we didn't put him in any kind of condition. It takes us. Listen, it takes a special sort of striker.
Gimenez is better than Janssen. I've seen them both play. Yeah, Gimenez is a good player, and also Gimenez plays for his national team for Mexico. He's a good player, man. He's a good player.
To answer that question there, Premier Hotspur TV. What? Thanks, man or woman. I'm not sure.
It's a man.
Oh, thanks, my man. 100. Who wouldn't take Rashford? Who in the right mind wouldn't take a fit?
I wouldn't take Rashford.
He'd want big wages, though, wouldn't he?
No. The question is, would you take him? It's not. Let's just say that we could. We had everything in place to take him. 100% would. You lot are nuts.
No. Do you know why I wouldn't? Do you know why I wouldn't?
Crazy.
No, I'll tell you why I wouldn't. We need players that when the shit hits the fan, they step up. And this year at United, Rashford was awful.
Yeah, but he's
when times are good, Rashford's not too bad. But we need players that when it's not going our way, when we're up against it, what do you do then? That's when you really know what a player's about. And he went missing this year. Not just him, a lot of those Man United players.
I honestly think he needs a new club just to revitalise him.
Listen, 90% of United players were awful this season. I don't think it's just Rashford. I think Rashford's probably ended up taking most of the brunt through of it.
No, he's part of it. He's part of it.
He's part of it, but you can't. How can you have a great season when everything around you is doing so terrible? That's the first thing. 2, I'm sorry, but absolutely no way should he be dropped from that England side. No way. No way. I think they're nuts. Not because he had a great season. I'm not saying that, guys. But even
He's a
if he
goal
had him
scorer.
on the substitutes bench, to have him coming on with 20 minutes to go, you're telling me that Rashford isn't good enough to make a really good impact in any team, in
I'd
any
have
big
him ahead
side.
of Iggy.
And he
I'd
can
have him
smack
ahead of
the ball,
Insane,
Timo
can't he?
Werner
insane.
instead of Turbo Wonga.
Oh, cool. Come on, man. Like,
He can
I'd have him
smack a
of
ball
course
as
you'd
well,
have him
right?
ahead of,
Iggy?
like, you'd have him ahead of. But even for England, I'd say the same. Jack Wilshere didn't have a great season as well, which is why he got dropped. But you're telling me that these guys on
Jack
the bench
Wilshere.
with 20 minutes. No, Jack Wilshere. Did I say Jack Wilshere? I meant to say
Grealish.
Grealish. Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
To not have them is because I saw him on. Jack Grealish was on the other night for Soccer Aid. To not have
Wilshere.
these, yeah,
Wilshere.
Wilshere was not Grealish. See what I've done there? I'm
You did
making
that,
sure that
innit?
you guys are
Oh.
listening. Making sure that you guys are listening. So well done for listening. 10 out of 10. Now, guys, look, how can you not have these boys on the bench with 20 minutes to go? You've got Grealish that can bring you bring you a certain dynamic to the game. Rashford, all these boys, and who have they got? Who do they take in their place? I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, it's my opinion, but yeah,
I'll tell you one. I'll
he's
tell you
been
one
at
bring
Man
him
thing.
back to
United.
Tottenham.
How
To
long
bring
has
him
he
back
been?
to Tottenham, I 100% will take him.
How old is Rashford?
He's young still, man. He ain't old.
He's
Yeah, he
probably
hasn't
about
even he
20.
hasn't even entered the height of his career yet.
Marcus Rashford is 26 years old and he still
Come on.
hasn't done it. He still hasn't done it.
How long has he been in the game? What do
He's
you mean he still
scored
hasn't done?
goals
He still
though.
hasn't done
He
what?
has scored. He has scored a bag full of goals.
Hang on a minute. When you say he hasn't done what? He hasn't
When
done
you
what?
when you think of strikers, he's not one of the first that pops into your head. He's not one of the first 5-10 strikers that pops into your head, is he? You don't think
He
Rashford?
can play up front. He can play in the wide. He can play any of the three positions up front. Any of them. I think he's a better player coming off the wide areas because he's got more pitch ahead of him to run at, taking on players, cutting in, shooting.
He's
I think
got a
that's his
shot.
forte.
He's got a shot
Yeah,
as well,
for
isn't he?
me, that's where I've seen him at his best. He can play up front. I just don't think he's that.
What about Lee? What about you, Lee? Would you take Marcus Rashford at Spurs? Would you have
I
him?
wouldn't take Lee. I wouldn't take Lee at Spurs. No.
But Lee's got the kit on. He's ready, man. He's ready to strip off and get.
Yeah,
get on the pitch.
so did John Terry when won the Champions League, and we ended up calling him, didn't we?
If you're asking me, would I have Rashford at Tottenham? I think he's another talented boy. I think this all comes down to the mentally where he is more than his talent. We know he's talented. We know that he can bag goals. I just think this comes down to are we talking hypothetically if he was in his prime, no issues? Of course, you'd have Rashford at Tottenham. Absolutely. Based on his performance last year, you have to question what kind of state of mind he's in and whether you want to take that risk because you know he's going to be on high wages. Whether that move is actually going to invigorate him to do better or he's just going to do exactly the same thing. Because I think in a really high press kind of team, you know, talking about a player that people were saying, oh, he goes wandering, he doesn't do this and he doesn't do that. You got to say, well, that's an absolute risk then. But for his raw talent and what he's done, of course I'd have him at Spurs. Absolutely.
So that's me and you voted yes. Still saying
Yeah,
no.
I'd take him.
JP,
I would definitely take him. So I think in connection with what you were saying, Lee, that's why I said earlier that I think a change from United would revitalize him. It's almost like he's been because it's literally like he's been there forever, isn't he?
Yeah,
and
he's just a United
been
player,
in that
isn't he?
first team forever. And the type of managers like they've also chopped and changed managers just as much as well, kind of like probably on par as we have, right? And it's always in our injuries and stuff like that recently have not really helped him. But I would take him. Kind of like
What
without
player has ever come to Spurs and revitalized their career at Spurs? We're the opposite of that. This is where we become a graveyard, not a rehab.
Listen, do I think Rashford's going to come to Spurs? No, I agree. Phil, I know you're saying he scored 7 goals. 7 goals this season. He scored 17 last season. So for me, he just had a bad season this year. But it ties with how United were this season. So he scored 17 goals in 35 games, I believe, last year. So he has got the goals in him. He has got goals in him, and I think a change will probably be all right, guys. A change will be good. Whether I don't think he'll choose to. I don't think he will choose to come to Spurs, even if he were to leave Man United, which I don't think he will. If once they get a new manager in place, I'm sure Rashford is going to be back in his in the frame. I think he had a falling out with. I don't think he really got on with what's his name, Ten Hag. So I think the new manager. Have they even announced a new manager? I don't think they had it, have they?
I
So
think they're going to keep Ten Hag,
do you think they're going to keep him?
Yeah, I think they're going to keep him.
I heard the other day that Jim, what's his name, wants to leave.
Who's Jim?
Jim?
What's his name?
You know, the only like the guy who's just taken over.
So Jim Ratcliffe. He can't leave. He just bought 25%.
No, but that's what I mean. I heard the other day that he was making sounds about. Oh, I don't know. I think about him wanting to
my head.
pull out.
Iggy, there's a question here for you. Daniela's asking, what do you think of Italy's 2 friendlies versus Turkey and Bosnia? Also,
Yeah, I responded earlier. Look, I think we were better against Bosnia than against Turkey. I think the reflection of the 2 teams that he put out in those 2 games are not going to necessarily be the ones that are going to play against Albania. I think Spalletti held something back because he didn't want to give too much of his game away. Look, I think this team could.
Is Barella going to be back? She's asking about
Barella. I think he'll miss the first game. I think he'll be available for the second, which will be against Spain. And then we got Albania, Spain, and Croatia in that order. So it's not easy to come out of that groups. But if we can get,
group.
Yeah, it's a tough group. If we can get out of that group and come for, look, I think if we can make a quarterfinal, I think it'll be a good competition, given the fact that we've come from 2 World Cup non-qualifiers. So a quarterfinal will be good. We still got a few things to get, to come together, and I think there's too many things that need to come together in one tournament, 1 month tournament. So
15-1, Iggy. 15-1 to win it.
Look, you can never. One thing you should never ever rule out in a competition. You can't rule Italy out, because if they get their mojo together in time, then they can. I just don't. The goals. We've got good defense, good goalie. Midfield, we need to tweak it about a little bit. Can get goals up front. We're looking a bit weak, goal scorer wise. And you need that solid defense, good goalie, and you need that one up front that bangs in there. And Chiesa, he's not that Chiesa of 2021. If he can get some sort of form, then we've got a chance. I think a quarterfinal would be a good, because I think there's teams that are better than us, if in all honesty, to win it again, to back to back. I don't think we have it in us to win it back to back. That's my feeling on that.
I want to bring up this. Back to Tottenham. Fabrizio Romano said the idea for Tottenham, from what he's hearing, is to add 1 more offensive player, because there is a concrete possibility to see maybe 1 player leave in that position. For example, Brian Hill, I think this summer he can go. He can try a new opportunity. I think maybe a permanent transfer. This is what I'm told. And so they are considering several opportunities. Also, Veliz will return from Seville, but he will leave on loan again. So according to Fabrizio Romano...
many caveats by Romano there. So many caveats. It's unreal. I think he goes from I'm hearing to I'm thinking it's possible. Brian Hill, but then I'm hearing
he does say
one player to replace Brian Hill, but then he goes on to say Veliz. There's so many caveats in that.
He's coming and going.
But he is consistent in saying what I'm hearing and what I'm told. So this is what the club are. Listen, the thing is, the club are going to put out.
But he done half caveat things.
Of course he does. He covers his back.
Covers himself, doesn't he?
The thing is, look, I'm just asking what we think about it. But the thing is, with these journalists, Ali Gold included, the club will tell them what they want them to then go and say, right? So if they want to throw you off the scent, let me tell him that whilst we go over and do something else, and he can tell the world.
That's smart. If that were the case.
But it does begin to make sense why we've now brought back Timo Werner. Because if they're only thinking of bringing in one out-and-out forward attacking player, that kind of explains why Timo's come in now.
You connect the dots.
Well, there's logic. There's a pathway to making Fabrizio right. So my question is this. If this is true, and we only end up signing one attacking player, is Eze going to be that game changer that suddenly Brennan Johnson, Timo, Ian, Richarlison, Sonny, Solomon, we're going to be this really brilliant Ange Ball team next season playing 2 games a week? Or do we realistically need, in fact, better question, how many attacking forwards, wide players, goal scorers, assist creators, how many new type of these players do we need? I personally think we need 3 minimum. But Lee, what do you think? What would you make of this?
I don't want it to be true because we're all realists here, right? And we can understand where the where we need to strengthen to be better than last season, right? Because that's what we need to do. We need to be better than last season, and we can see where we are lacking. And for me, you could almost say that the entire front three needs to be strengthened, right? So to say that we're only going to bring in one player, that doesn't sit well with me, because I don't think just bringing in Eze doesn't, it doesn't fill the gaps that we know that are there. We know we're crying out for a defensive midfielder, absolutely crying out for one, because the guys that we are putting in those positions are not playing as a defensive midfielder type, and we're getting, cut open, and it's exposing our defence. So for him to say that, and thinking, well, hold on, then surely the club knows there's weaknesses here, and that's where we need to strengthen. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think he's just being fed what he wants to be hearing, and I think he's just a case of, let's not show our hand just yet. It can't be that. It can't just be that, because that just doesn't fix the issue, right? It fixed one of the issues, not all of them.
But maybe.
I think he's just saying, I've not said anything about Tottenham in a little while. Let me just type something now.
But what if our manager thinks that does fix the issue, that does sort out the attacking issue, and that's why he's brought back Timo, because Timo is going to be part of the plan on a more regular basis, not just a backup.
I don't think realistically it does, right? Because all towards the back end of last season, all he kept saying was, yep, that's the one area that we're going to strengthen in. He was consistent in that message throughout probably the last, 8-10 games at the back end of last season. The front area is where we need to improve on.
JP, in your opinion, what is the most important area we need to fix?
I would say we've got 2, unfortunately. We do need to get that defensive midfielder in, that number 6, whatever it is. We need if we're going to play that system, we need someone strong there. We could squeeze by with maybe getting away with scoring goals from tap-ins from whoever. I don't care. We can score goals. We've not scored a lot of goals in the last 10 games, but we can score goals. But we've leaked a hell of a lot more. And I think that having that person there, and again, it doesn't go down to having one person there. We need a backup for that one person as well. Because if whoever we get in is injured or needs a couple of weeks off for whatever reason, we're buggered again. And you can bet your bottom dollar that he'll get injured whenever we've got big games coming up.
So JP, if I was to offer you a top draw, holding mid, centre mid, CDM, DM, whatever you want to call it, right? Or a top draw striker. If I said to you, here's Harry Kane, here's Declan Rice, who are you taking?
I'd probably take Rice.
I would as well, because I think with this simplistic view on this is 2 issues. We can see too many and we don't score enough. I think you can get people to step up to score, I think it's really hard to stop conceding goals, especially if we are
The way our
effectively.
defense
I don't think there's anything wrong with our defenders. I just think they're being used in certain ways where it exposes us, and I
It's
think you need
open,
someone to drop in that kind of defensive midfield, or almost to shore up and make it like a 3, where they can then bomb forward, which we weren't doing. So I'd rather shore that up, and then that allow.
But clean sheets win you titles.
Yeah, but I think we need to do both. I know
Ain't
you're
it
saying
bad that
pick
we've
one,
got to
but
choose one? We've got to choose one.
Well, no, we don't have
Guys,
to. I'm just.
No, that was
a lot of good
that was
teams.
sales talking.
I know what he said, but a lot of good teams, a lot of popular teams will say, you know what? We identify that we've got issues in number 9 and number 6, and maybe one winger. That's 3 players right there. Let's go and get them and sort out this big problem we got. Instead, we'd be like, well, our blanket is this short, but we need it to cover this long. Are we going to cover the top bit of the screen, or are we going to cover that side of the screen? Mate, just go and get what you need, man. No one's saying go and buy 6, 7, 8 players. Go and buy 3 players that are going to make an absolute world of difference within your team.
Iggy.
Jesus, is it so hard, man?
Declan Rice or Harry Kane?
I'm going to say Kane, man. I'm going to say Kane.
Can I say I agree with Iggy? I would have picked Kane as well.
Man. I can't. You just think to yourself, you know what, my man's
You
going to
know,
bag me 25, 30 goals. If he's bagging me 25, 30 goals, we're going to win more games than we're going to lose.
But no. Scoring more goals doesn't mean you don't concede less, does it?
But the season
he could score 30 goals and we could concede 70. It makes no difference.
Kane's last season. Kane's last season. Didn't we let in 50 odd goals?
Yeah, but you see, last season,
isn't that the way Postecoglou is getting us playing, though, isn't he? It's the way he's got. I don't think we've got bad defense. I just think we're not playing.
I think if we had Harry Kane last season, we would have beaten Arsenal home and away. Even though we were awful at home, the chances we created, he would have put some of those away.
We would have won away that day. That day we would have
won away for sure.
I
think Man City, when they beat us 2-0, I think we draw that 1-1. I think, well, we definitely score. I think the Newcastle game, forget it. Jesus Christ. Although the 2 chances we had early on that fell to Turbo, Wonga, you never know. I think the sitters we missed against Fulham, he puts away. I think with Harry Kane, we would have got Champions League football.
I agree with you that
I also think we would have beaten Fulham in the Carabao. Actually, no, we wouldn't, because he would have dropped him. He changed the whole team. Forget that.
It's not just about the goals. With Kane, it's about the mindset and the mentality of what he projects onto the team, right? I think that is something that you can't pay for. I think he would have made them play differently as well, just having him in the team. My opinion.
Well, he was like our midfield creator, our scorer, our header, our defender to get balls away for corners. He was everything, really.
And I honestly believe, guys, that he's understanding with.
But we haven't got Kane.
With
Son.
With Maddison, Son. You know, I think ballers recognise ballers, man. I just think that we need to have a bit more of that on the field. I just think that quality players like Son and listen, Maddison. I know he didn't have the best times the second half of the season, but I still put him in that bracket where he's that quality player. I just think if we had 2 or 3 more players around, they can exchange. You know, they can exchange passes and visions and the way they want to play. I think we would benefit so much, and by doing that, we also alleviate a little bit of the pressure from the defence. Because the more better players you have on the pitch, especially in that final third, the less chances are you are going to lose the ball and get sucker punched on the counters, making better decisions. If you remember one goal, I think we conceded against, I can't remember if it was Wolves or one of the teams like that. You know, Kulusevski's come on the inside and he's played a pass across the goal or across the edge of the box. It didn't go to no one. We get countered. 2-3 passes, bang, and go. Just stupid decision making like that. Me personally, man, Kulu would go this season. I would get rid of Kulu. I would get rid of who else was I
Iggy,
saying?
all of them.
I don't think any. I don't
Liz,
think.
Richarlison, Kulu,
I
Timo, Solomon. None of them are good enough for Spurs.
No,
None
I think. Listen,
None
for
of
me,
them.
the
Eight
way
The
I,
worst front three.
someone
This is
someone who has
it's
said to
awful.
me from a very young
Big
age,
players.
man, if you keep doing the same things, you will keep achieving the same outcome. Someone told me this from a young. I was still at college when I was. You keep doing the same things, you're going to achieve the same outcome. So if we are ready to confirm the like of Kulusevski, Wenger, Johnson, whoever it is, we are having the same players that we had last season, then why would we possibly look to achieve something different to what we did this season? So in order to not do that again, or even risk of that happening again, you change it up and you go with it. You bring in new players, new blood in there, and go with that. It's as simple as that. I would take my chances on taking a new route than going with a tried and tested route, knowing the results are going to come at the end of it.
Is the rumor or statement that apparently came out from Kulu true? I heard something yesterday. I rumored that he
Sorry,
basically
one second.
said,
I'm just going to put the Champions logo on.
no worries.
Yeah.
That apparently he came out and said and admitted that he wasn't ready for the Premier League. It just wasn't. He wasn't good enough for the Premier League. I think I heard something like he had an interview with someone and basically said, "I'm just not good enough."
6
Really?
months ago, we won in life. So, God knows.
Well, yeah.
But he's happy in love.
I don't think he would have. I'd like to see the context. If he said that, I'd like to see the
I'll have
context.
to. I'll have to see if I can find it. I only saw it briefly, but it didn't sound like something you would go and basically
come out
say,
and
"Hey
just say
guys,
that.
I'm not good enough for the Premier League. Thanks a lot. Any chance I can leave?"
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he'd be shooting himself in the foot if he did that. But yeah, find it. We'll bring it up next week and talk about it. If he did say that, that's for sure. Let's briefly talk about the Euros because they are starting this weekend. What's everyone's thoughts on who they think will win it? I know who I think is going to win it, but Lee, what about you? You go first. Who do you think is going to win Euros?
Do you know what I haven't watched enough of
2024?
the national teams to see how the other teams are going. I mean, I worry that again we are as a country hyping up England far too much.
That happens all the time.
Did not.
No, when did that ever happen?
No, never. Watching that match against Iceland the other day and knowing that some of the teams that we're going to be playing in the group stages are of the same kind of ilk really worries me that we're going to run out of ideas of how to beat these teams.
Yeah, but didn't England do this the last tournament where the run up to it wasn't that great?
Was
went to the
shit, and then
tournament
I think I want to hope that they come out all guns blazing in the first match, make a statement. I hope that's the case. It's just left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth before the competition starts. But I think we've definitely got the talent. And now Maguire's not playing. I think we've now got what we need to go on and win it. Because
no Maguire, no Dyer. If England don't win it now, then they never will.
Not a chance.
Are we on the coming home? It's coming home stage. Yeah.
We're asking. No, well, Lee hasn't told us who he thinks is going to win it, though.
Oh, sorry, Lee.
I don't know.
Lee,
I honestly can't tell you because I haven't watched enough of the other national teams and the friendlies and stuff like that to look at how they're playing and to make an informed guess.
Do you think the team that Southgate has chosen is better than last time round?
It's virtually the same, isn't it?
No Maguire, no Dyer.
Do you know what? As much as I take the piss out of Maguire, I think there's a lot of weight that's going to be put on John Stone's shoulders, and the fact that he got that little injury and had to come off the other day worries me slightly. It's a bit of an listen. I don't want to say an unknown defensive line, and one of the other things that I worry about as well is this push to play Trent in midfield. You can see it's there and you can see it's coming. And don't get me wrong, I think he's talented, but when you watch the difference between Trent and the likes of Walker, you see a pattern. Trent is always looking for the pass. Trent is always looking for the pass forward. Walker goes forward, but ultimately turns backwards. I saw a lot more trying to create chances with Trent at right back than I did with Walker at right back. But then Walker, I think, is the better defender. So I think it all depends on how we set up. So
there's that Conser, isn't there? Conser,
yeah,
and is
you've
it
got
Guy?
Conser. We've got Gomez as well. I mean, listen, these maybe it's the difference. Maybe these kids have got no fear, they've got no worry, they've not had to do it before, and maybe they'll turn up for us and that. But that's the only thing that worries me. But I think we've definitely got the potential to go far in the tournament, 100%, just like last time.
Do you think England will win it, Lee?
If we don't end up playing Italy and old Pulipini doesn't end up slamming Saka in some kind of wrestling move again and getting away with it, then yeah, I think we've got a chance.
Listen, for me,
JP?
England should have gone to a back three, man. They should have gone to a back three with Walker playing right centre back, put Stones as the spare in the middle of the three, and then pick whoever you want a left centre back, whichever of those remaining centre backs.
Lewis Dunk, innit? He's the other one.
Yeah. I don't know why he's there. I don't think he's international level. No disrespect. I don't think he is.
There's not a lot of centre backs, is there? English ones.
Brave was it? What was this guy's name? A lot of people. Everyone was really disappointed that he didn't make the squad. But anyway, left centre back or Guehi, if he's better, fine. And whichever of those. Tomorrow, I agree. By the way, I've said this many a times. How Tomori cannot make this team is beyond me. But apparently, football doesn't exist outside the Premier League, so that's probably why they don't look at him. I think if you had a three there and you have a 5-man midfield, you have the 2 wing backs. Use Trent Alexander-Arnold on one side and whoever you want on the left-hand side. Get 3 playing in the midfield, and then with Kane, Kane and somebody else playing a bit tighter to him. So maybe playing Kane and maybe Bellingham just off him, or Foden, or Wood Palmer, just someone who's a bit close to him. So Kane is not completely isolated. I think that should have been the way forward for me. The way I see this England team, that's what I would have gone with. Me. But they keep insisting with this back four. They've been trying to find the best combination. Almost as if like, I've got Palmer, I've got Foden, I've got Bellingham, I've got this, I've got that.
How am I going to fit them all together?
It doesn't work like that. Why has he got to play with two sitting in at Wembley against Iceland? It's beyond me. Some games you can play with Declan Rice as the one sitting in and playing 2 attacking midfielders, Foden and whoever else together, and go at teams. The weakest part of this team, this squad rather, England squad, for me right now, and Lee touched upon it a second ago, is the defence. The certainties that you had, even with Maguire, for all the stick that he takes, there was a cohesion, there's an understanding between him and Stones and players who have played in tournaments. This time around, you're going with too many players, in my opinion, centre-backs with the pinnacle of your defence. You're taking players like Joe Gomez, Lewis Dunk, Mark Guehi, as good as he is, Konsa, players who have never really played first-team football in European competition. That's not a
tournament-winning defence, is it?
So unless you're using this competition to then go, these guys will be experienced for the World Cup in 2 years' time, that's a different subject. But we're talking about going into a competition in England, winning it. I don't think they've assembled this defence properly to go and win a major tournament. They didn't take anything from the World Cup and the Euros that they were previously in. You've taken a whole bunch of new defenders there, Luke Shaw is in there. He's hardly played any football, which is why Trippier's playing left back. So there's a lot of things that have got to come together. But look, from midfield on, I have to say, midfield forwards, as quality as it can be. I disagree with the fact that players like Rashford and Grealish were dropped. I think from the bench they could have added a real. You want players to really make a dent when they come on the pitch, and I just don't feel that there's two better players than those two that I just mentioned to do that. But having said that, it's a great opportunity for the likes of Bowen, Eze, and Anthony Gordon, even to be those players. So we shall see. But the weakest point for me is at defence, and again, you're telling me in the last 2-3 tournaments, I say we because I am, I feel like England, I follow English players, I follow English football and the national team. You're telling me we couldn't find a better keeper than Pickford in all this time. Still, to this day, there isn't a better goalkeeper, an international football team like England, than Jordan Pickford. I think he will be picked.
Iggy, who's your choice? Who's your favourite to win it?
I think France has still got something extra than any other team. I think they've got something about. I think they know how. They've got really good players. They've got really good assemble. When you look at them all together as a squad and as a team, they still got something more than all the rest of them. And then everyone else is probably just like a line, behind like England and you know what. I wonder if Spain could be coming back into it. I don't know if they Germany at home, man. Germany the home team. So, but I think France, man. If you're telling me, if you want me to pick one name and say, man, I don't think there's a lot of teams out there that have got a group of players stronger than France right now.
What's your favourite to win it, JP?
Well, I'll tell you who's not going to win it. It's not going to be Italy.
It's all right, mate. We've done it 4 years ago. 4 years ago.
Let's fire some shots
on your home turf.
It took JP 1 hour. It took JP 1 hour 40 minutes to fire.
I'll come back swinging, man. When it comes to national, I'll come back swinging.
But
it's true. It's true. Italy did beat England in England. you can't argue it.
In front of a packed stadium full of your home fans and ones that broke in. So it was probably more than they declared 60, 70,000, probably 100,000 in that stadium.
100,000 in there.
Yeah, 40,000 and didn't pay for their ticket.
Health and safety went out the window that day. Yeah. No health and safety.
Yeah. And we still took it to Rome. Just saying, JP.
I reckon I was going to say France as well, to be honest, because I think they're like the strongest. But I was looking earlier on that 365, and they've got England as favourites. Like, I know it's probably just to get a load of people pumping money on or whatever, but it's like the England, France, Germany, then Portugal, Spain, and Italy in terms of the runnings. But
do you know what, JP? To be fair to England,
they've got that freaking Arsenal defender, haven't they? Arsenal defender, that Theo Hernandez, stuff like that. Not forgetting Mbappe and.
Do you know what though? Like, to be fair to England, the last 3 major tournaments. Iggy, man.
Iggy, someone's got graffiti on your wall.
The last 3 major tournaments, England have got to
nice
the semis.
Bit of wallpaper there. Nice bit of wallpaper there. Someone's messed it up.
Lifting the trophy.
England have got to the semis and the finals the last 3 tournaments. So they are knocking on the door. They are there or thereabouts, aren't they? So it makes, if the bookies do make them favourites, you can kind of see why. Because they are consistent.
Yeah.
They are consistent.
Well, they've got consistent recently in the last couple of tournaments, haven't they? And got further to semis. And
the last 3, they've got to semi-finals. Lee, correct me. The last 3, England have got to semi-finals and finals, right?
Well, the Euro were the finals. The semis was the World Cup.
Yeah.
And before that was the Euros. And before that, we got to the semis again, no?
Don't think so.
Can't remember that far back.
I don't think so. But listen, I personally, I can't see past France. I think they're they have got a cool squad. I like those that Fernandez, those boys at AC Milan. If the other one's there now, is he? But
I think
France for me.
France will win it as well, JP. I think France are going to do it.
They're certainly favourites. I just think they have something more than anyone else. You know, they've got the know-how. They've won. You know, they've won it before. I don't think that Deschamps or anything's is the best manager that's at the tournament or anything like that. I just think they got the know-how. They've done it.
Who was the French manager when France won the World Cup when they beat Brazil in the final? Was it Deschamps?
Brazil win. What year are you talking about here?
Going back a bit. It's when
Oh no, Deschamps. What you're talking about? 98. Like what he was playing.
No. They won. When's the last time they won the World Cup?
Oh, you know, Deschamps was the manager.
It was.
Yeah, so he knows what he's doing, Deschamps.
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying that I think you look at the team and you just think, you know what, they are packed with talented players, man. The only thing that could mess it up for them if there's something like, you know how they all got big egos. They have, man. French players, they've got massive egos, and sometimes it takes anything to just like switch that. But if their camp stays together, I think they've definitely got the talent to go on and win it. So it's all about if there's friction within the camp. The same. Listen, same. It can be said the same with Italy. We don't always have the best team, and 2021, whenever we won it against England, we didn't have the better team, the better group of players than England. We didn't. What did is that we had that know-how, man. That we just know how to get it over the line. We just had that. We've always had that knack. Like when we get to that's why you don't want to get with us. There's always been, if you're going to knock Italy out, make sure you do it in the group stages. Don't let them get into knockout situation because that's when they come to the front. And and in that last group, you know, players, the thing that they were united, they were together, and the whole thing with Vialli, that he was there as well. Everyone knew that he wasn't well, so that galvanized that group of players to go on to win it eventually, and that's it. That's all it was. With England, they've got everything there to go on. I've said it many a times, and I've written it on my thing. He ain't come. It's Gareth, man. For me, he's not the one that's going to get you over the line. I think you have a good squad of players.
Yeah, Gareth is suspect.
But he in the World Cup in Russia, I thought he did well. Euro 2020, he ballsed it up. I don't care when anyone tells me, "Why don't watch that final again?" How many times you want, you can see where he ballsed it up. And in the last World Cup, same thing, man. He did it again. How he got the opportunity to take that team back to another Euros after failing three tournaments is beyond me, but here we are. And by the way, guys in the chat, man, don't get butthurt when I talk about us. I'm talking about Italy and then England. Come on, man. It's like everyone knows when it comes to international tournaments, I'm Italian, man. Come on now. I do watch England. I do want them to do well, but not if it's head to head, man. Come on. Outside of that, no problem.
I think Southgate's biggest mistake in that final was
being there.
Listen, well, he got them there. But you don't bring on players that haven't smelt the grass, touched the grass, had a feel for the ball. You bring them on and say, right, take a penalty to win us the tournament. It was suicide, man.
3 kids, man. 3 kids at the time.
It was crazy. If that was a Mourinho, an Ancelotti, a Klopp, a Pep, that is
never.
Not happening. That is not happening. Simple as that. They're not doing that because they know I have to win. It was a massive gamble and it backfired big time. So, and imagine, and that was after Jorginho missed a penalty. After he missed a penalty as well. Pickford made a brilliant save. I remember it.
The pressure was immense.
He put it on the wrong player's shoulders.
Immense. The whole build-up, guys. If you haven't watched the thing on Netflix at the moment about there's a Netflix. I actually watched it earlier on today. Sorry, forgive me. I'm just going to look at the name of it. The final attack on Wembley. It's called. It's on Netflix, and I watched it before we came on here. The build-up, obviously, like how everyone behaved terribly, breaking doors down to get into the stadium. The tension, that build-up to that game was huge. And
whole
to throw
nation's
those
there.
three
The
kids,
king, the queen, the
the
whole
three,
family.
to throw three kids and for them to be
Suicide.
subjected to the abuse that they got on the
Do you
back
know,
of missing
Iggy,
those penalties.
do you know what?
Next
Another
level.
thing, right? Lee, I don't know about you. When it gets to penalties and I'm coaching, I never say I don't let the players decide who's going to take it. Right? You know, coaches might say, right, who wants to take one? And they look at them. Yeah. I don't do that. I tell them, you're taking it, you're taking it, you're taking it. The only time I say no is if they start shaking up. No. Like they collapse. Then I say, okay, I'll take you out of the situation. But I put the best strikers of a ball up there. I've had players that have said, Coach, can he take it? Instead, said, no, I want you to take it. You strike a ball better than him. Yeah, but, just do it. I'm picking you because I know you're going to score. If I didn't think you were going to score, I wouldn't pick you. You have got a great shot. And I do it that way. I don't think players should decide, because you know what? What if you just want to be a hero, or in the moment, yeah, go on, I'll do it. I'll do it for my country. I'll do it for my team. But what if you're shit?
Yeah, but do you know what though?
You want players that can strike a ball. They know how to put it in the back of the
so
net. They're just lacking a bit of confidence. You've got to give it to them. You've got to give it to them.
Yeah, but
That's
you're talking about kids who are still yet to be affirmed.
Adults.
With kids, sometimes it's about overcoming that fear.
Iggy, I've done it with adults.
I've done it with adults. It's different, man.
I've done it with adults. I've told them, you are taking the penalty. You are 10 times better at hitting a ball than him.
It's just, you know what? It's just like so many times you get into a situation where, you've got the big I am players, and then you get to a point of the competition where it's like, all right, Billy Big Bollocks, come on then. Show me the big I am now. Now is the time to separate them, the men from the boys, and say, right, step up. If I see him in a situation where I'm an experienced player and I'm seeing the likes of Saka and who is it, Sancho and Rashford, I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, these guys have just come on. And I'm looking at their faces. There was fear in it. Listen, I don't care if you look at those faces again. There was fear in their face.
That's the manager's fault. He should sense that.
But also I'd be like, I would have gone up to, if I'm an experienced player, I'd go up to South, go, what the fuck you doing, man? Like putting them up. Like I would call them aside and say, mate, are you sure about this? Because there were players like Grealish, I believe, didn't step up to take him.
See, now, Iggy, that's the exact player I would be saying, Jack, you are taking a penalty. Why? Because I know you can strike a ball. I know you can.
It's all good to, like, we all say,
30, 40 minutes on the pitch.
We're saying this in hindsight. Exactly. These guys hadn't even touched the ball.
There's grass stuck on your studs. You're ready.
I don't understand. Even like, I know we're saying it in hindsight now, but even in the moment, man, surely everyone was like,
I said it in the moment.
What is he doing? Like, everyone was saying, what is he doing? It's a big thing to be doing that in the final as well. So, look, for me, he screwed up at half time. I think he screwed up when England, when they scored after 4 minutes. Look, why am I bringing that up? I'm talking about the mindset of the manager. I don't think that's changed, guys. He went ahead, England took the lead 4-0 at 4 minutes into the game. We were winning 1-0, and they looked like, boy, I looked at it, this could be a long night for Italy. And they didn't kill it off. And I thought, if we can get in at half time, Mancini's going to change that, and he's going to come back and sort that out. And he did. And
he phoned up John Cena. Gave Saka a clothesline from hell. Cheated, didn't get sent off.
That wasn't a clothesline, Lee. That wasn't a clothesline. He wasn't gonna go on a foot race with Saka.
It's no
4 years old. He's gonna go on a he ain't gonna go on a foot race.
Lee,
that's called smart, man.
Lee, can I ask you something? Do you think that's a problem with English football, that we're too kind in the wrong moments? Because if that was Argentina, because I don't think just the Italians would have done that. I think Argentina would have done it. I think a German team might have done it. In that moment, you're seeing the breakaway, and you're thinking, right, I've got to take one for the team. What can I do that doesn't get me sent off, but I know I'm going to get a yellow? And that's what he did. So do you think it's a thing with English football where we think, oh, that's ungentlemanly? Like, no, we don't like that over here. But for a winning mentality, no, you got to do it. Because
Yeah, absolutely. I'm completely on board with that. I don't think that's the difference between winning and winning nicely and winning for the sake of winning because you just need to do whatever it takes to win. And that's the mentality we don't get. Listen, I'll tell you this now, and I think this has already been said. But my issue with the England team is Southgate. I think he's the one
100.
that's not going to. I think our biggest problem with this squad is we've got too many options in the different positions, right? I don't see that you should take a tournament any different than you take a club team, in the sense that you have your best 11 players, you play them together, you play them how your system works, etc., and you stick to it. And then all of these other players are players that come off the bench to make an impact or something like that. I think we're going to. I hope we don't see this, but I think we're going to see too much chopping and changing of these guys because he thinks they've got to play, they've got to get minutes, they've got to get on the all this kind of stuff. I think that's going to be our downfall. It's too many changes, too much uncertainty as to what his team is and what his best squad is to win this tournament. Other nations don't do this. They basically go, right, this is our squad, this is our 11 starting. These are the players that we know that can win these matches. Go out and do it. Other players, fringe players, come on when they need to come, etc. I still don't know what our starting 11 is. We start on Sunday, and I still don't know. I think I know what our starting 11 and formation should be, but it's not the way Gareth is playing it. And I think that's our biggest, that's our weakest link in this squad for pushing on and winning it is his uncertainty to know what to do in the moment.
I think to answer your question, Stel, I would say we haven't picked players with that kind of mentality. Like we've had players like Stuart Pearce. There's no chance he's letting someone go like that, right? Same as what Collini did. Your John Terry's wouldn't. Your Tony Adams wouldn't. Like, dude, we've had players in there who can do the dark arts, who can be win at all mentality. Ashley Cole, there's no chance he would have let. If someone has beaten
Romero,
him,
we know how
they
that
would do taking him out, right? So
That's
there are
Romero.
there are English players that are out there that can do stuff like that, but I don't think the squad's been picked with that type of mentality or that type of player in mind in any way whatsoever. They are.
Do you know why I mentioned it, JP? I mentioned it because I remember when Spurs played Dinamo Kiev and we were 2-0 up and we lost 3-0 in the second leg.
The geezer just went on a run.
Yeah, and after the game, Mourinho was
going mad,
ballistic. Why did none of you bring the guy down? Like,
take him out. Yeah.
And then that whole intelligent CUNT came about in the Amazon video, and it's like, is it an English thing? Maybe we're just too. We're a bit.
It's just naive. In that team is naive. It's still, even this team is naive like that. Even this Tottenham side is very naive, and we don't do things like that. Listen, we haven't got a player like that. Maybe Benson could, perhaps. He's got a little. Yeah, I'm saying, like, generally, those two players are not like that because they're at Tottenham. Those two players came to Tottenham already being like that. What I'm saying is, as a team, we don't have that. We don't have that in us. Look, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but do you know what? When it gets to a certain point in the competition, all needs must to win the game, to bring that trophy home, to bring that final home, to get through to the next round. If it's between me and you, you're going down. You know, that's levels of football that we're talking about.
Do you think maybe that's all of a? Do you think that's maybe a bit of a byproduct of what the Premier League's become, and the English players that are playing in it? It's become a bit of a fancy pants type of league, in it, where it's all about money and swag and all this kind of stuff, rather than being just a gritty football league.
Maybe that's why I listen, guys. This is why I stress, like, whilst I watch the Premier League, above all else league, I watch the Premier League just as much as you guys do. I do like to follow other leagues as well. I do like to follow, especially like the Italian league in my case, or it's important to follow the other leagues because to see how they do it as well. I think, and to compare yourselves a little bit, to see what they do right. We may do 101 things right, but they get it over the line, man. They like the European competitions this season, like, they done better than here in England. So you have to see what is it that's getting them. What is it that does it? But for me, Southgate, like I said, I don't think he plays the team that he truly believes that it's going to get him over the line. I think he just picks a team that thinks he's going to get him to win the game. Now, 9 out of 10, whatever 11 he puts out is going to beat what's in front of him because England are that much stronger. England will come unstuck when the competition starts becoming more fierce and the level of the opposition that you're playing against start to match you. Then it becomes the tactical battle where you see the weakness of the opponents, where you're going to exploit them, how you're gonna counteract their moves when they bring a sub on, how you gonna counter that move. It's like a game of chess in the final, in the quarters and the semis. That's what gets you over the line when you have a manager that can outthink the opposition manager. That's when the competition is won. But in the group stages, until you have a clear, better team than what's in front of you, then yeah, of course England are going to win those games. But in those moments, look at Iceland, the way they're set up the other night. I know that it's not the best tempo of the game and there was a friendly and stuff like that, but they looked dangerous every time they countered. They looked like a threat and they looked like they were going to score every given time. And then you had to defend in numbers, making it really awkward for England to get in behind. So, listen, we'll see, man. We'll see. Maybe I'm proven wrong. I'll be sitting there with mud on my face in a month's time. We shall see, but that's how I see it anyway, man.
Peeps, we are about to wrap it up, but there is an award going on. And we would like you to vote for us in the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion section and the Best Football Club section. And what you do is, when you go on the form, you tick these two boxes. You see? These two boxes. And then you cast your vote for us. The link is stuck to the top of the chat. So make sure you give it a go. It's also down here below. Vote for Tottenham away. And if we win by miracle, we will do a Levy out speech in front of the YouTube world of football content creators. Believe you me, if that's what you'd like. But that's what we're going to do. I've got a super chat right here at the end. Thank you so much from a user. Was out, so unable to post earlier. Ndombele was Poch's fault, not the board. If you go back and check, Poch pushed very hard for the signing. The only thing I'll say, a user, is we signed him for Poch, but then we sacked Poch 2 months later.
That's a Spurs thing to do.
Yeah, it's almost like we'll give Poch time with the player, right? But instead we didn't. But look, who knows with this club? Maybe you're right, maybe you're not. I don't know.
And now we have Pochettino and Ndombele with no club. Maybe they can join forces again. Who knows?
At Man United.
Maybe we keep Ndombele and bring Poch back.
Hold on.
Let's bring him back.
Controversial. Poch for England manager.
He'll do a better job.
He'll do a better job, yeah. He would. I don't think he'll take the job, though.
Will he deliver the trophies, though?
He'll have his Harry back.
He'll big up Jalfrezi, Stelios et al. Who's Jalfrezi?
Curry, isn't it?
Yes, I am, my friend. It's Iggy Prince TV.
That's Iggy's Twitter. If you don't know, get to know. A user, another super chat, says, I remember the Southampton game and the Sheffield game. His skill was next level. Such a shame he fell away. We signed Eze. What level striker comes in? A user, you need to go back and watch the show. Go back and watch the show, bro.
He did say he came late.
Yeah, he did say he came late. Fair play to you, my man.
That's the first thing we spoke about.
Are we doing a show next Monday with the Euros on, or what we doing?
Yeah, every Monday. Every Monday we go live. That's what we do. We'll be back. There might be a show during the week. I don't know, guys. Check it out. I'll be live with Matt on Friday, 5 p.m. If you want to join us, more than welcome. We just talk about the week's events and whatnot.
Just a few hours before the first Euro match.
And some random players. And if you've got any random players,
Germany, Scotland.
If you've got some random players that you want Stell or Matt to give you an update on, by all means, chuck them in the comments.
Empty cabinet, dusty cabinet.
I put a post for the show on Thursday, and then you can no empty cabinets. No empty cabinets. Yeah. I'll be on the pitch as well, the pitch channel on Thursday, late night. So check that out. Podcast show that we do there. Otherwise, that's us pretty much done. Lee, last words.
Buzzing for the Euros. I like these competitions. I've got me 50-incher to me left. TV, not me lang.
Sorry.
And I've got me separate monitor here so I can get all the games watching. I just hope England do well. Just do. Iggy, I think you're malfunctioning there, mate. Hold on. I've got the same thing. Let me just wait. Hold on.
I was waiting for an England flag to come up.
No.
Oh my goodness me. JP, last words, my man.
Yeah, man. Just I'm looking forward to the tournament starting. It would be nice to have a tournament without not worried about Spurs for a bit. Obviously, bit gutted that there's no Tottenham players in the England squad, but that is what it is. Let's see how the other Spurs players do. Obviously, Copper as well. That's going to be kicking off soon as well. So there's a lot of football coming up, which I'm excited about. Looking forward to. And let's see what happens in the transfer window when that opens. Exciting times ahead, man. Let's
Transfer
go.
window opening as well on Friday. More football gossip than we can handle. More Fabrizio Romano and Ali Gold than we can contain ourselves.
You got to laugh at it. All this pretend excitement. All this pretend excitement of the transfer window. We're so bloody not excited, man. As I can't. There's so much hot hair being thrown out there with names.
Day one.
Right. I'm just like I can't do it. I just can't take it. When I
let's start a diary. Let's start a daily diary. Shall we do a daily diary? Day one. Transfer window.
No, you could just
Well,
you don't even need to
Good
do a
morning,
video.
Tottenham away shows.
Do you know what? You don't even need to do a video for that. I could do one shorts every 2 days, and it will still be enough. A 10-second shorts to summarize 2 days transfer window.
Come on, Iggy, man. Don't be so gloomy and dull.
I have to say, when I was a kid, I used to love transfers.
You know what I mean? Now
those numbers on CFAX, you dial, and you pay
301.
40p a minute. Back then, that was a lot of money. 40p a minute. And you get some guy going, "Hi, and welcome to the latest Spurs news." And you just listen to it. And you read the newspapers. And then as you get older, you think, okay, yeah. I'm at a point now in life where I'm so not excited by transfer windows. I'm like, I don't care.
Phone gets turned the other way.
I mean, even not long ago, you used to just have your phone, didn't you? Like News Now, bang it all the time.
Yeah, News Now. Even that I don't look at. I deleted it.
Hit it. I always remember looking at my phone once and like moving it, and you could see like almost an indent in the phone of where like the News Now icon was.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did all of that as well. Now I'm just tell me who we've signed. I just want to know who we've signed, and then we'll talk about it.
Now all you hear is we're in talks with, we're considering, we're contemplating,
monitoring, linked to, hearing, spoken to,
chatting like Dave,
observing, looking at.
Made inquiries. That's the one that kills me. I've made some inquiries.
I filled out a form.
Filled out a form.
Oh, man. You know what? We're so bad. We're so bad because we are killing it for the kids that are doing the same thing as we used to do back then. We're killing it for them now. Because they watch us and they're like, look at this miserable bastard.
The kids are 10 times worse than us when we were kids because they've got social media. It's what we used to do, but on steroids now. It's nuts. It's crazy now. Imagine we had social media instead of teletext.
Imagine being a Spurs kid today.
There's CFAX and teletext used to take ages to load as well, didn't it? And you used to miss the page, and then you'd have to wait another 10 minutes until that page came back. No, it's just...
Yeah, 299, 300, 302. And you're like, mate,
you know what?
Just go 301. It's got to go all the way around to 9999 and then come back round again.
So it was like, Joe, you used to go to the airport and you used to look for your plane on the board. Is that thing used to go.
Yeah.
That big.
It's like playing tombola.
Yes. Snake's got it.
Tombola.
Snake in the chat. That was teletext.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know the young generation right now probably looking at us going, what the hell are they talking about? But the older lot,
Why is he making those noises?
yeah, the older guys and girls like will know exactly what we're talking about. Hilarious. Maybe
Anyway.
in the next what do you call it, thumbnail, put CFAX. For it.
Do you know what? I will. I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna do it.
For the transfer Friday, do it for the Friday show or something on Monday, wherever.
I did it Monday.
Getting on Tottenham CFAX.
Teletext and CFAX were good for two things. What you just described and booking holidays, that was it.
Mate,
Booking holidays on CFAX.
I mean, guys, just completely.
Some people used to use it to call a person called Debbie from Dallas.
Lee, my wife.
I'm just saying, he was on there as a kid.
My wife said that when she was a kid,
there.
Her dad would go like and looking at holidays and CFAX, right? And he would book something there and then and wake them up in the middle of the night to say, we need to catch a plane to Greece in 2-3 hours. I've just booked us to go on holiday. It was like a last minute deal, and they were flying in only a matter of hours. So they would always have like a little luggage ready, holiday luggage ready, in case, because they knew that her dad had a if you stayed up to like 2 or 3 in the morning, if you stayed up to 2 or 3 in the morning, you'll get some cracking deals on CFAX. And he used to book holidays to Greece with that 3 hours spared. Literally get on the car, go to the airport,
Christ,
and fly out.
we've turned it into a pensioners meeting.
Yeah, it's just listen, man. Sometimes, like, these are the things that used to happen, man. Nostalgia. There's a little bit of nostalgia. People talk about that.
Ironically, teletext holidays is still a thing. There's actually a website, teletext holidays.
There you go. Look, Sophie's knows the good old holiday draw. She knows.
Now it takes 3 hours to check.
Yeah, and that's if you do it yourself.
It's true. Teletext was our internet. He's right.
Really
listen, on that pensioner bombshell, we're going to call it a night, guys. Everyone, thank you for watching as always. Dietrich Kane for a couple of super chats, a user as well. Thank you so much to all of you guys. Big up. Everyone in the chat tonight also. Make sure you vote for us. If you get a chance, go for it. Love to have you voting for us. And
it'll be bloody hilarious if we won it.
If you do vote for us, Equality Diversion and Best Football Club Premier League. They're the 2 ones you want to nominate us for. Guys, we're out of here. Take care. Have a great one. We'll be back either in the week or definitely on Friday. Have a good one.
Come on, Italy.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.